Good morning, 4:37, time for farm news now. Undercover ag videos, dairy farms, feedlots, slaughterhouses. Video that can be shocking and educational. Well, now there's a push to ban it in Wisconsin. There's some footage here that might be a little graphic. Hidden video taken on farms, often taken by whistleblowers, could be banned in Wisconsin. Cattle kicked, whipped, and hoisted into the air, all captured undercover by Mercy for Animals, a group that did a lot of this 2 years ago. But a ban that would start in the Wisconsin State Assembly could end that kind of photography by the end of this session. Shelley Mayer with the Professional Dairy Producers of Wisconsin says farmers prefer any mistreatment be reported, not recorded.
We're a very transparent industry. We're doing our best to always be better. It's very difficult to think about someone standing behind a camera knowing that something is not right, that they could have the ability to stand there and watch something that they think is wrong. If it is wrong, then be brave and stop it.
The proposed ban would be unique to Wisconsin and not a carbon copy of ag-gag laws passed in other states. There are at least 7 states with ag-gag laws, including North Dakota. A new national survey shows how Americans overwhelmingly support humanely raised meat. This is our Stewardship Wednesday story today. But it's not just what they're fed or housed. It's also how animals are slaughtered. Elizabeth Cook brings us 2 companies taking a different approach.
At the Belcampo Meat Company, the latest solution to an often uncomfortable fact of life: how we kill the meat we eat. Here, every bit, every cut comes from a humanely raised and slaughtered animal.
We honestly believe that it's the best way to eat meat.
Even at these prices, business is booming.
If you can buy it from someone who is really looking after the animals and kind of making sure that they have a good life up until the point where you eat them, I think that's really important.
A new survey finds a whopping 9 out of 10 U.S. consumers want humane meat.
He's still alive, clearly.
As to why? In part, look no further than videos exposing slaughterhouse abuse.
I think the thing that's driving the humane treatment of animals is going to be this. Because no matter where you go, there can be a camera. And this will be the enforcer.
Professor Temple Grandin is an expert on animal welfare. She's designed systems that reduce the stress and fear felt by livestock on the way to slaughter. Grandin says it's the right thing to do. It also improves meat quality.
If cattle get all excited the last 5 minutes before slaughter, they're more likely to have tough meat.
Federal law already requires humane slaughter to prevent the needless suffering of animals. But a recent government audit shows gruesome violations do occur. In addition, federal law does not cover poultry.
This is a gap in the law that should shock the American conscience.
One California poultry farmer was shocked into action.
We do this because it's the right thing to do.
David Pittman heads up Mary's free-range chickens in the San Joaquin Valley. From egg to farm, they do things differently.
We need to make sure that we are doing everything we can to have the bird have the most humane lifestyle possible.
But it's how Mary's chickens are treated at slaughter that's winning praise from Grandin, the Humane Society, even PETA. Traditional processing includes shackling live birds upside down, stunning them before they're slaughtered. At Mary's, the birds are moved in special crates through chambers, slowly filled with carbon dioxide. The CO2 puts them to sleep. When the birds emerge, they remain in a deep sleep as they're hung upside down for processing.
It makes for a much more humane process to handle the birds when they can't feel and know what's going on.
The system costs $3 million.
It's an investment for the future.
As for Belcampo, the company consulted with Professor Grandin. They process a few cows a week, one at a time in a quiet room, using a captive bolt pistol that instantly destroys the brain.
There's no screaming, there's no mooing, it's very calm.
To ensure their methods are humane, both Mary's and Belcampo meats are both certified by independent third parties, recognized by the Humane Society.
Now, agree or disagree with some of the ideas presented in this story, or agree or disagree with the Humane Society of the United States. They are having an impact on how meat is processed here in the U.S. Temple Grandin says the big issues of animal welfare today are on the farm, not in the slaughterhouse. She told the American Farm Bureau a couple of weeks ago that problems I am seeing at the packing plant, the slaughterhouse, I'm going to have to fix at the farm. That's our Stewardship Wednesday, and that's our farm news this morning. It is 4:43, and we're going to come back here and check your forecast right after the break.